Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Self-love through freedom and connection. So feel free to connect to the brave never fall on these social media platforms. If you find anything of value in this following podcast, hit that like button, subscribe and share, and support the brave and bold tribe growing one purposeful soul at a time. How are you feeling? Take a moment to do a self-check-in for yourself. How are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling spiritually? Are you feeling balanced? Are you still journeying on an intentional, purposeful path? How are you feeling? Balancing yourself is a healthy, daily practice that will reliably keep you in harmony with your entire mind, body, heart, and soul. Clear your mind. Take a moment of silence for yourself. Right now, in the moment. You are here now. How are you feeling? Appreciate each sunrise and sunset, and be truly grateful for your purposeful life. The sounds of nature, in my opinion, is one of the easiest ways to get yourself in a mindset to reconnect to something greater than who you are. It's great to have self-love. It's great to have control, discipline, but a proper perspective about life and where you fit into it is also necessary, I feel, for the growth of each individual. And it doesn't matter if you appreciate it on a level that someone else does. Not everybody has to look at the stars as I do and say, I would love to be on a journey to outer regions of space, like deep space, the universe, exploring everything if I could. Some people would just be happy taking a stroll down the street and coming back and saying that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, as they walk past their favorite tree or they walk past their favorite mountain that they live near. It's one of these things in life where each individual sees life for what it is for themselves. Therefore, who we are inside is a reflection of what we appreciate outside and what we would like to bring in. If there's something beautiful externally that you see all the time or even randomly, there's a piece of you that connected to that beauty or that non-beauty. We see things every day that we are disconnected with. And it says more about who we are than what that object or that place or that person or that thing actually is. And that's what I think is so great about life, is that we can examine ourselves externally as well through the things that we react to, what we see, how we appreciate certain things in our lives, and how that is counteracted by people alongside us who are very influential in our life, and how they see the very same things and you see them completely different, yet you're connected to these people, these places, these things. That's what life is all about. It's a complex network of souls, living, breathing things, even non-animate things that are all connected together, because we're all here together. We're all on this rock together. And that's what makes life so beautiful. Only you can dig deep enough into your mind, body, heart, and soul and retrieve the true meaning of why you exist. The true reason you take every breath. The true reason you rise each day with a purpose. Whether we realize or acknowledge it or not, we are here for a reason. Look around you. Take in all of life with all of the senses. What can you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch? We aren't lifeless automatons, zombies, or machines. We are living, breathing beings with a purpose. Everything on this earth has purpose. Yet humans are the only species on this planet that is aware enough to understand in depth our own mortality, to even be able to prolong our mortality through invention, medicine, and science. We as humans have been given a gift no other species in the history of the world has been given, to change who we are whenever we wish. That's powerful. We can go places, see things, do things that no other animal, land, sky, or sea can do. Nature has given us, as humans, an opportunity to truly do something remarkable, to travel the solar system, the galaxy, the universe. We can go anywhere on the planet, explore places that we thought we'd never see, meet people that will change our lives forever, experience wide ranges of emotion from pain to joy. We are free to believe in a higher power, to appreciate nature, to reflect upon our lives as we see fit. Life is beautiful, yet dangerous, which is what makes it so special. The non-guarantee of tomorrow puts our lives in proper perspective. Every minute of our lives allows us to appreciate every smile from those we love, every playful moment with our children, every hug from our loved ones. Allows us to view time as our ally, our friend, not our enemy or hunter. There's plenty of time in each second, each minute, each hour, each day. There's time to appreciate our existence and be grateful for it. We are here now. As long as we have purpose, there is no end. Life, Episode 1, There's Nothing Better Than Life. This color wave of podcast, the Green Podcast, entitled Life, is a great way to examine the external. We talk so much about the internal. We talk so much about our self-love, our self-respect, and our self-discipline, our awareness of all the things we have to do. We talk about our need as human beings to have a meaning, purpose in life. This is going to be an opportunity with the life episodes to examine how we are fitting in with the external. How do we define ourselves by things that aren't inside of us, that has nothing to do with us, we think, or maybe truly doesn't have anything to do with you? There are things on this planet that we'll never interact with. We can't, as human beings, and I don't like to use that word can't, but we have to be realistic about certain things. We haven't even mapped, as human beings, we haven't even mapped the entire ocean floor. And in our lifetimes, which average lifespan is getting longer, it seems like every decade. But when you think about it, even if you live to 100 years old, that's not a lot of time, considering the history that this planet has, going millions and millions and millions of years in the past. Or maybe if you don't believe in that timeline, you believe in, the Earth is only thousands of years old. It's still a long time, and 100 years in that context, juxtaposed against that type of timeline, it's not a very long time. And I think anytime there's someone that you talk to that says they have no meaning, they have no purpose, it's real easy to bring them back by just telling them who they are inside. That's what we discussed in phase 1, was all about you accepting the fact that you do have purpose, that maybe there's some things that were broken in you, and you needed a challenge, something to make you wake up and say, okay, there is more of me. I just have to go find it, and then not only find it, build upon it. Then I looked at phase 1 as the crossing of a mountain, where when we finish phase 1 after the 100th episode, you go into the new challenge. You go into the valley, you self-reflect and have introspection, and then you look up and guess what's in front of you? A volcano, and not only a volcano, an erupting volcano. And you have a choice to make. You can either go around it, which is nothing wrong with that, or you can go over it. And phase 2 has been all about both of those options. There are ways to go around it, which is still a journey. You still got to go past something that is formidable, or you can go over it. And I think life is all about that. We have choices all the time, and who we are and how we define ourselves and how other people see us is by those decisions. When people see that you're up against something that's formidable, it's easy for people to judge whether or not your decision is something they would have made a decision with. And we can kind of formulate that into, well, we kind of categorize and judge people. That's what human beings do. We'll say, oh, this person is tougher than this other person because this other person decided to go over the volcano instead of going around it. When in reality, the journey around it may be the tougher way to go. Maybe the person who went over it found an easier route, where the person who went around it is going to be dealing with different challenges. They're both formidable. They both have their challenges. They both have their ups and downs. It's a degree of taking on the essential task. Is that what we're focused on? And not allowing things like anxiety and depression and toxic people and manipulative situations that we get in with other people to deter us from the route we really want to take. Because a lot of times we get into a route where we want to just say, I don't want to take neither one. I just want to sit here and give up. In the grand scheme of things, that's really not acceptable. Giving up is not an option. Because no matter what you say, when you give up on something, you're not really giving up on that thing. What you're giving up on is yourself in the moment to do that thing. Because unless your life ends in that moment where you gave up, and we all know what that means in another context. We all know what truly giving up means in context in a moment. We know what that looks like. We know what that word is. I'm not even going to say it. We're not talking about that. So unless you go to that extreme, then you still have a choice to make. Because your next choice would be, okay, so now that I'm still sitting here and I didn't do this thing, it's still in front of me. When am I going to finally get up and either walk away from this thing that I'm facing, face it, get some help? The key word is action. What is your action? And I think when we think about life as human beings, we all have our own perspective. I know we do. We all do. The key is, what are we doing about it? Can we put it into context? Can we put it into some type of conscious thought, some type of conscious rhythm or a pattern in our lives that says to us, this is my rhythm in life. This is my personal rhythm. This is my personal pattern. This is how I fit in the overall blueprint of life. My number is right here. I can find where I'm at. If I looked at a chart of existence right now, I would be able to find myself because I know who I am and I know where I'm at. Time and space. You can't meet someone if someone doesn't give you a time and a place. The same goes for you internally. You can't be who you want to be if you don't know what you're doing in real time. If you don't know who you are in real time. You are the time and the place every single day. And if you don't know what that time and that place is for yourself, who you are, how are you going to find what you're looking for? Who you're looking for? That's why I believe looking externally can help. Because even though someone can give you directions and give you a time and a place, I grew up in a world where we didn't have GPS. We didn't have MapQuest. We didn't have navigators. You wanted to find somebody, they had to give you very, very good instructions. They got to remember every street name. They got to remember every turn, every street light, every stop sign, every building, anything that can help you get to saying, hey, meet me here for coffee at 12 o'clock. The time part was easy. And the hard part was trying to find these people if you've never been to this place before. Now we have it easy. We can just plug in the coordinates. But let's just look at it like that in our life. What if externally, and as a person, as a human being, as you, who you are, what if you could externally GPS yourself, navigate yourself with some comfort, some security, as we do now with navigators? How do you do that? Well, for one, like any navigator, a navigator can't tell you where to go if it's not programmed to know where all the places are. A navigator can't tell you where to turn, where to stop, where the traffic is getting backed up at. It cannot tell you that if the information about all of the different scenarios that you can encounter, meaning the streets, the places, the states, all these places you can go, it has to have all that pre-programmed in order to get you to where you need to go safely without being confused or disconnected from the system. Because if the system disconnects and your navigator goes out, what are you going to do now? You can do the same for yourself. The more you know yourself as a navigation system, the better you're going to be in life. The more we know about all the different complexities of who we are, it makes it easier for us to get out externally and experience things in a completely different way. You stop questioning, are you going to make the left turn? Are you going to make the right turn? Are you going to stop? You're going to slow down. You don't have to do that anymore. You know, it's programmed in there. You just have to tell yourself every single day, where am I going today? And you go. You go with confidence. You go with strength, with power, with purpose, intent. And your destination isn't just some wasted opportunity. It has meaning. Even the most mundane task of running errands has meaning. It is doing something for you, your family, your job, your church, whatever it is that you do in life. Whenever we run errands, people think, oh, this is so crazy. I don't want to run these errands. I don't want to check off this to-do list. That to-do list is you. That errand is you. You are the purpose of that to-do list. You are the purpose of that errand. And that's what life is all about. It's about knowing that every action you take has meaning. Or why are you doing it? If it has no meaning, why are you doing it? Now, there are degrees to going too far with certain things, and that's going into all kinds of addictions and bad habits and being undisciplined. But that's where the navigation for ourselves kicks in, and we can get back to a place of, you know what? I know who I am. I know what I need to do. So no matter what I do today, I'll be able to recognize when I'm starting to waste my own time. I'll be able to recognize when a person, place, or thing is starting to waste my own time. I'll be able to identify different places and put them into the navigator and say, okay, I'm never going to this place again because it was a waste of time. I'm never going to do this with this person again because it wasn't meaningful. We have to internally put that into our blueprint. We make mistakes in life. The human experience is not void of mistakes. The human experience is about going into a void full of mistakes and coming out saying, I learned something. I learned more about myself. And how did you learn more about yourself? You learned more about yourself because you went through an external situation that you had no control over, that you didn't even know was going to approach. There's nothing better in life than coming out of something that you thought would drag you into the pits of hell. For you to have yourself come out of a situation where you say, how the fuck did I do that? How the fuck did I do that? How did I just accomplish this thing? I didn't even know it was going to happen. And look what I did. The body the mind, the heart, and the soul is going to remember that. Now it's part of your navigation system. Now it's part of your internal power system that can handle any external thing that it comes up again. When you hit that road again, you know exactly where to go. You know exactly the speed. You know when to stop. And if you don't know it, it's going to feel familiar. Even if the street is different, similar aspects of that street will be there. You've already been through it. That's why life is so great, because every single day you can learn something more about yourself through experiencing different things in real time externally. You gain nothing from doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. You gain absolutely nothing other than the word discipline. You gain true discipline when you do that. Is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. It's highly encourageable, because the more you do something, the more of a master of that thing you become. Now, there's two sides of the fence of that, of course. If you're doing something great for yourself that's giving you purpose and meaning over and over and over again, you become a master of that. That is something that is beneficial to your life. That's the purpose part. That's the powerful, impactful part of your life. Where on the other side, you can have that discipline in the wrong direction, and now it's becoming something that is toxic in your life. It's starting to get you in trouble. It's starting to get people around you suspicious of your behavior. It's starting to make people wonder, are you going on the right path for yourself? The darkness is over there, but you're disciplined about it. And that's where discipline can be kind of scary, because we can get disciplined in the wrong ways. We can think about this in disorders all the time. Think about eating disorders. You can have an eating disorder in both ways. You can eat way too much and you become obese, unhealthy, diabetic. You don't have as much energy and action in your life to be able to counteract all the food and the calories you put into your body. But on the other end of the spectrum, you have someone who is, anorexic, bulimic. They're not getting enough calories. And maybe they're too active. Maybe they're doing too much. They're not eating enough. They're not getting the right nutrients. Same problem. They're eating disorders. Opposite ends of the spectrum. Same with sleep. You have people who sleep way too much. You have people like myself who suffer from insomnia, who don't get enough sleep. Luckily, I've figured it out and balanced myself out. I found some ways, natural ways of getting myself into balance, and it's no longer an issue for me really all that much. But I can specifically say that we've all encountered people with both of those issues that can lead to disorders, and they're both into a discipline area. People are disciplined about the disorders. But you don't realize it's a disorder until that discipline has gotten completely out of control in the negative way. And that's what's great about life, because we can identify and acknowledge and be aware of these things based on what's going on around us. The people who are in our lives around us, the places that we visit. We know if you've done something a bunch of times and all of a sudden this one time it feels different, and then that difference starts to creep in, and now it's becoming discipline. You're like, wait, something changed here. What was it? That's why there's nothing better than life, because life is a teacher. It's a friend. It's a mentor. It's a parent. It can tell you so much more about yourself when you start to find those roadblocks internally. When we get up to those walls and you can't get over, when you're looking at that volcano and you don't know which way to go, life will tell you, maybe you should go this way. Now, how do we know we're making the right decisions? That's when trust and intuition start to play a major key. Now, just like with discipline going in the right area and the wrong area, you can take trust and intuition in the wrong direction as well. Sometimes people trust themselves a little bit too much and they get themselves into trouble. And that's because that is a conflict with alignment in their life, with the core fundamental values of who they are, what they're standing firmly upon is being conflicted with. So even though they trust themselves, the base values of who they are, who they're aligned with, is not connecting with what their actions are, what they truly should be doing. So there's a disconnect. And that's when trusting yourself can be wrong, which is why you have to take it back another step further and make sure before any of this in life, internally, we know who we are. We know what our purpose is. We know what our values are. We know what we're going to get out of life because we know what we're going to give to life. We're not trying to take, we're giving. And whenever you do that, life will give you what you need. Life will figure it out. It may not always be in a timely manner in which we want it, because we're human beings. We want things when we want it, how we want it, for as long as we want it. We can't accept the fact that life will often give us things in life that doesn't necessarily seem like it fits. So we fight against it. We start to cause friction. And instead of detaching and saying, okay, in the big grand scheme of this, what is this situation teaching me? What is this person teaching me? What is this thing teaching me? What is this place teaching me? I'm experiencing something in life that I haven't experienced before. What is it trying to teach me? Instead of looking at it like that, we look at it like, whoa, I don't feel right about this. Get rid of it. You have to examine it. You have to dissect it. You have to face it. Yes, A, it may be scary. B, it may give you anxiety. C, it may lead you to a place of fight or flight. The point is, all of those things are going to happen regardless. So you might as well examine it, dissect it, the situation, the person, the place, the thing. Experience life for what it is. Life is meant to be experienced through you. It's here for you. It's here for all of us, but you are all of us, so it's here for you. We can't run away from life unless you do something that transcends time and space. There's no escape from it. And even after you die, we don't know what happens. We can think about it. We can make all the assumptions in the world, but truly deep down inside, all of us, we have no idea what's going to happen when we die. We just hope that what we believe in actually comes to pass. So that being said, instead of worrying about that, why don't you deal with what's in front of you? This world, this place, this earth. It's a beautiful place. It can teach you so much. And if we can get into a mindset every single day as human beings that we're not just going through the motions because we are breathing, we don't really want to be here, we wish things were better, we wish this, we wish that, the manifestations that I had can't do this and won't do that, and they're not coming fast enough. And instead of doing that, why don't we create? Why can't you create what you want out of life? Build it, construct it. Do the best that you can for what you get. Again, you're not going to always get the perfect pieces in life just because you want them. Life, the external part of it, is not always going to align with single thing in your life that you wanted to align with. There's always going to be something that is not quite lining up. But that's great, because that means you can make adjustments. That means you're aware. That means you're experiencing life. Life is all about adjustments. If every human being on this planet suddenly just disappeared, this planet would go on without us. It would figure it out. All of the animal life, the plant life, every bird, all the sea animals, they would just keep going on. They will make adjustments to whatever happens on this planet. This planet has been bombarded with impacts from comets and asteroids. This planet is still here doing its thing. Again, we go back to that timeline. So you are a part of all that. If all of that is happening, that means you are a part of that as well. That means you are just as adaptable as the earth is, because you are part of the earth. And life is reminding you every single day that there is so much more that you can do if you step out of the comfort zone of who you believe you are and step into the not comfort zone, but the known zone of who you are. The zone of, I know this is me, and I can add and take away whatever I want, as long as it's balanced, as long as it's fair to myself, as long as I'm doing the things that are aligned with my core values, because everything else is going to do its own thing anyway. Life is always going to do its own thing. Things are going to happen. Things are going to happen. No one expected in 2020 that a worldwide pandemic would break out, but it did. And we're all living in a movie. The world hasn't ended. We're all still here. We just had to make some adjustments. And that type of big catastrophe, that type of big monumental, giant, momentous, powerful moment in human history happened, and we're all still here. No matter what happens in the future, we know we just have to make adjustments. We have to adapt, because we have no control over nature. And we made the best of something that could have been completely dark and disastrous. And had this happened, the pandemic, 30, 40 years before, would have been a completely different scenario. Completely different scenario. It's only the times that we live in now that it happened to get us through, and we were able to adapt a lot more efficiently because of social media and technology and science and medicines. It's a different culture. It's a different world. Adaptation. That's why life is so beautiful. Something like that, a pandemic, could come into our lives and remind us of our mortality. And again, the mortality thing is another gift that we get from nature. Human beings can make decisions about where we want to go and how we want to change our clothes and how many children we're going to have. And no species on Earth, on this planet, makes those types of decisions with that type of cognitive awareness. Our behaviors, everything that we do, is on another level because we have a conscious choice to make all types of impactful decisions that not only affects us, but so many people around us, and ultimately affects the world. And again, that's why life is so beautiful. Because when you think of it in that context, you at any moment could do something that could literally change this planet. Who you know, what you do, it's not for granted. It's not something that is obsolete. Who you are is essential. Your presence in this world is essential. It is something that needed to happen. You being born needed to happen. It had to happen for all of this to continue to work. That is a beautiful thing to think about. It is a beautiful thing to think about. No matter if you're here for 3 years or 103 years, you were born for a reason. And life is a reminder that we can go at any moment. Being grateful is something that makes life even more beautiful. Putting things in perspective makes this world so much more enjoyable. It makes it so much more meaningful when you realize that life is not about just you. You are about you. We have to start with ourselves internally and figure ourselves out and how we fit into this world. But there is so much more going on out there. That's why it's so important that you figure out who you are, to get in balance, to figure out what your purpose is. We already know that you're special and unique. We all are. Now we have to figure out what you're going to do with that uniqueness. What are you going to do with your presence on this planet? And how can you affect the external things in your world? If you've gotten to this point, you know that you're special. You haven't given up on yourself. You're still here. You're still able to smile. You're still able to do the things that you can do. Some people, a lot of people in this world aren't able to do the things they want to do through disability and special needs and disorders and all sorts of things in life that prohibits people from being able to do the things they really want to do. If you're the type of person, or you are a person who has no excuses, you have to be grateful for that. You have to be. It is a powerful, powerful gift. You have to understand that you are not some worthless life form that was dropped here on this planet to do absolutely nothing. And nature reminds us that every day. You can go outside, look at any blade of grass. Go outside and look at a blade of grass and tell me that that blade of grass is not powerful. That blade of grass is feeding the insects and animals. It is giving us oxygen. It is doing all sorts of things. It's making our yard look great. Even a weed. It has a purpose in life. The difference between us and everything else that's external is that as human beings, again, we have a lot more choices. Happiness is a choice. You can choose to be happy or you can choose to be miserable. This world, if you look at it, if you look at the people around you, if you look at all the things that happens around you, just look at all the complexities of it. All of the things that happen around us. What does that have to do with our internal happiness? How do we connect to the world and draw happiness from it when all the work we know we have to do is internal in order to be happy? Because that's the true gift about life, is that once you get to a place where you are balanced out and you have figured out what your purpose is and you know what you have to do, now you get to experience this world in a different way. The world suddenly becomes so much more vivid. It is so much more enjoyable. Again, the senses, what you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you touch, what you smell, all of that is just better. It's just better. And I truly believe that for each individual, every single person who has ever been born, regardless, again, there are people who have been born who have only been alive for 3 months, and there are people who have been alive for over 100 years. There is no greater or lesser value in the essence of each of those two individuals, which means there's no difference between you and the external, all the stuff that's going on around you. You can base yourself in your values, in your morals, in your core, and get an even deeper meaning of who you are about everything that's happening around you, how people react to you, how you appreciate the world, or how you seek out to want to know more about yourself through experiencing new things in this world, because there is just so much that you can do. Why not give it a try? Why not do some things in your life you never thought you could do? Why not truly say, I'm unhappy with this person, place, or thing. It's time for a change. Nature does it all the time. When it's time for nature to adapt, it adapts. It changes when it needs to. You are a part of that. And you can do the same. And that's why there's nothing better than life itself. Your life internally and life externally. It's connected. And as long as you're breathing air, as long as your heart's beating, as long as you can see, smell, taste, hear, and touch, you are connected. You have a purpose, and no one has a right to take away from you what you know is rightful to you, what your birthright is. Whatever aligns with your life, whoever aligns with your life, it doesn't matter. You have to start with yourself internally, but once you have that figured out, it's time to start enjoying the external things. The things that are around you, the people that are around you, the special people that come in your life, hold on to them. They're precious and unique and special to you, and they're there for a reason. The places, same thing. The things, same thing. If you align truly with someone, it's for a reason. It's for a reason. There's a connection and a bond there that cannot be disconnected just because you can't figure yourself out. There's something special about life with that. The same goes with the places that you visit. We all get attached to like a certain house. We have our special things that we have, our tokens and things in life that we accumulate that just mean so much more than all the rest of the shit. It's because of who you are and how you are aligned and connected with the world. Not the other way around. You find your place by finding yourself first and then enjoying and experiencing this beautiful place, this beautiful world. And only you can do that. You have to accept that you're here now. There is no end. Enjoy life and experience all the things about it that makes you who you are. Because if you don't do that, you're chopping away at your purpose and your meaning, and your existence is flawed. That's not you. You are more. Your mission for today is extremely simple. Ask yourself one question. Do you feel connected to all the people, places, and things that are closest to you in your life? Do you feel connected to all the people, places, and things that are closest to you in your life? What I mean by that is this. Yes, we can talk about all of life, but just like we're internal, the most important things in our life are always going to be the ones that are closest to us. So the people that are closest to you, do you feel a connection to them? And what is that connection? Do you feel they have that same connection as you. Same with the places and the things in your life. When you have things in your life, do you feel a certain connection to them because of being sentimental, or are you feeling a connection to them because they have a higher, power, meaning to you? The mission is you identifying how things that are closest to you in your life, what is the connection? Why are you connected to them in that way? Why are you connected to the house that you're living in? Why are you connected to that car, that favorite piece of clothing, that favorite piece of jewelry, that church, that person, that place, that dog, that cat, whatever it is, your favorite pair of fucking shoes, whatever it is, it's one thing to know that you're connected to them. Why are you connected to them? Why are you connected to them? What is the special meaning in that person, that place, or that thing that makes you so drawn to them? And how would you feel if you were disconnected from them suddenly? And the exercise should, if done properly, should bring out more of who you are internally and how you feel about the things around you that are closest to you, which in turn will give you deeper meaning about things that you haven't even seen yet. So examine those connections, the people closest to you, the things, the places. Not only while they're in your life, but why are you so connected? This is your day. You are here now. These are your moments. You own them. You are brave, bold, powerful. You do believe in yourself. You know you have more in the tank. You know the glass is half full. There's still more room for improvement. There is no end. Believe, believe, believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Trust that you can do whatever it takes to accomplish whatever you want from life. You don't procrastinate. You don't embellish. You don't lie. You are true to yourself. Knowledge is in your mind. Peace is in your heart. Balance is in your body. Purpose is in your soul. You are greatness. The sky is not the limit. You have purpose, fulfilling, intentful purpose. You are here for a reason. You are unique. You are self-love, self-discipline, self-respect, self-control. You have self-awareness. You are joy, peace, happiness. You are freedom. And yet you are connected to every person, place, and thing in the universe. And if no one has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Learn, laugh, and level up.